complete bed rest. The next morning at 5 a.m., my water broke. Back at the hospital, the staff threatened to try to stop the babies from coming for another few days. My impatient children had other ideas. They were born an hour later and immediately whisked off to the NICU. Refusing pain medication and rest, I got out of my hospital bed and followed them there. The next few weeks were a sleepless blur. Every day the NICU doctors warned me that my babies, despite their progress, could die at any time. Every few hours, an alarm went off signaling that one of them had forgotten to breathe. I had to shake them to remind them to start again. One consequence of their premature birth was that I never got around to reading any pregnancy or parenting books. I had no plan. I knew only one thing. I wanted to breastfeed. I quickly understood that this seemingly simple goal would be anything but. First, I learned that nursing a baby takes 11 hours a day. I did the math. Nursing 2 babies takes 22 hours a day. Second, I discovered that my body did not want to cooperate with my mind. On such short notice, it simply could not produce enough milk for 2 infants who desperately needed to grow. In a NICU, you have to weigh babies after every time they nurse. Any increase in weight is the measure of the amount of milk consumed. If the numbers fail to meet hospital standards, you have to supplement with formula. While my NICU neighbor cried as she filled shelf after shelf of the communal fridge with bottles of milk that her baby could not digest, I struggled to squeeze out even a few drops. A relentless routine took over my life. Pump for 30 minutes. Try to breastfeed one baby for 30 minutes. Weigh the baby. Try to breastfeed the other baby for 30 minutes. Weigh the baby. Give the first baby half of the pumped milk. Give the second baby the other half of the pumped milk. Feed the first baby formula, then feed the second baby formula. Repeat all day and all night. I laughed and refused when the nurses encouraged me to take a night off, go home, and sleep. That would have been giving up. The hospital released my babies a month later when they stopped forgetting to breathe and gained enough weight. At home, the grueling regimen continued. Through it all, I tried to keep up with my job as a clerk for a federal judge. I worked on my laptop every time I pumped. I could not leave the house for more than a few minutes at a time, or I would miss a crucial step in the sequence. Eventually, one child decided to give up nursing. The other persisted until she was 4 years old and there was simply no milk left. Even then, she threatened to continue until she was a teenager because it comforted her. Although I never did get around to reading any parenting books, these early experiences laid the foundation for our close relationships. I knew what it felt like to face, day after day, the possibility of losing them, and I never forgot. I also had no illusions about the painful realities of pregnancy and childbirth. My heart hurts at the thought of Annie Mae, stuck for weeks in the isolated and under-equipped basement of Annie Penn Hospital, waiting for her babies to come. I doubt that anyone expected her to breastfeed or would have, even if in the end she had given birth to only 3 or 2 or 1 baby. When her daughters arrived, a team of nurses immediately fed them formula through medicine droppers. There is no record of what made Annie Mae's doctor, Fred Klenner, decide to auction off her lovely, thriving girls to a formula company. Did he approach the corporations or did they approach him? Either way, it happened so quickly that the only thing Annie Mae likely knew for sure when they finally went home was that whatever her girls' fate might be, she would have little control over them. I have devoted many years to researching, writing, and thinking about the complex and often hidden relationships between racism and food. The Fultz family's story touched me in a way that no other has. But it is not my story. I am wary of white people telling black people's stories. I wish that I had been able to interview the Fultz sisters and their families. All 4 sisters are gone now, and the relatives that run their Facebook page